Live button.
Okay.
Hail to all! How's everyone doing out there? Figure we start tonight with a little bit of funkiness, being that there's a lot of that cruddy funkiness going along out in the world out there. How's everyone doing? How's the chat doing? How are you? And no, I did not have no coffee. I had 2 cups earlier, a long time ago. Yeah, so how you doing, Wes Moody? How's everyone doing out there?
Doing great. Here, on your channel with the best chat on YouTube right now, and we're gonna have a fantastic night tonight.
Oh, you know it. So yeah, we got all kinds of strange things going on out there in the world, and all the weird stuff and all that, and got to find somehow some way to be positive. And so me and Wes were talking about opening with a song, and we were gonna go with some metal. Then we're gonna go with some punk, and then we found some funk. And I played this song. It's one I got from the YouTube music studio that you don't have to credit, And it's like, yeah, we're going to do that. Start with that. Let that be the tone setter, And we'll be talking about the last word of Pink Floyd, the music band, the last word of Pink Floyd. Yeah. And current issues and current events that basically a certain former World War II person that is now a rich person that is basically funding all these calamities that are going on that should really just be peaceful protesting. And so you have that going on. So yeah. So how are you guys doing out there in wherever you're at?
And
how's it going?
Congratulations to Culture Casino on his Fandom Menace Fandom Collective card. Well earned, my friend.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Culture Casino, the link to the yard is in the community chat if you want to come on. Yeah.
By the way, I did just nominate Bear to be in the next round, so hopefully he'll get his card too.
Yeah.
But,
well, I do this for a lot of fun. Sure, hell yeah, I'm looking forward to getting a card. But if I don't, I'm not gonna get all weepy and boo-hooey.
Well, of course not. Yeah. Hey man, you got the channel. That's all. That's the best prize of all in this amazing community. So you don't need a piece of paper for that, or a non-piece of paper. Well, yeah, whatever.
So yeah, let's see here. I was checking something out, and so yeah, HBO Watchmen, Amazon's Expanse actress Frances Fisher. She is a ginger, blue-eyed ginger, and she's getting a little bit up there in age, but she still looks somewhat good. They want Now, I'm not going to say what she's putting in here. All right? But I thought it was interesting that she's what you would call a flame stoker. Y'all know what a flame stoker is out there? Someone that kind of like stirs the pot, signifies, and then blames it on somebody and causes some chaos and some confusion. And that's what that is. So we got her big time. And this is a Hollywood actress, man. You know? And what's the thing that we want for movies and TV shows? We don't want that.
Yeah.
We want good written shows, good written movies, well written scripts. The hero's journey, we want that all represented.
Really?
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about, right? Yeah. Let me share that here real quick. Let's see. Chrome tab. So yeah, there's a title that I didn't want to read. We'll give them a really unbelievable. I mean, I don't know. That seems a little bit toxic to me. You're gonna go stoking flames, and it's like, yeah, I came up with this this thumbnail, Squawking Squawkers, the lamestream media. And so this is an example of a squawking squawker. Big time. So would you say, Wes, that that's a squawking squawker?
Yeah, it's a squawking squawker. She just needs to, you know, stick to her lines, do her work, and shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Read your lines. Read your script. Make the movies. You know, and basically, a lot of professional actors, the ones that I really, really like, they don't reveal what their beliefs or politics are. They just don't. They're a complete mystery. And I like that. I want there to be a mystery on who the actor is and stuff like that, with a little bit of info in here and all that. You know, I don't need to know the deep, dark, and dirty uglies they do in their private lives. You know what I'm saying? I'm not exactly, what is it, TMZ that takes those photographs and chases stars?
Yep, TMZ's the one. Yeah, I don't care about that stuff either. You know, just, you know, when you get on stage, fucking bring it. Do a good job. Go home. Be happy that you're making money to play Make Pretend.
Yeah, and you know what? And basically, I really like this actress. I like some of her performances in TV shows and a few movies here and there. And, you know, it's mind-boggling. And so basically, these people don't care. They don't care about the movies they're making. It's secondary. It's completely secondary. And you can go by just everything that's been going on. You know, the squawking lamestream media is parroting something. And then not long after, you got the blue checks, these Hollywood actors and all that, squawking that. And so you got a bunch of squawking going on. It's like, what the hell? We got a gaggle going on here or what?
Yeah, big time gaggle. That's what they actually call those press events. They actually call them a gaggle, believe it or not.
Yeah, they do. That's funny. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I see you intentionally spelt it wrong, but yeah, you're right.
Whoops.
See what he did there? That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know who that is. Yeah, we know what time it is, and we know who they are and all that. And so basically, it's literally a layer cake of a bunch of just really messed up stuff. And basically, unfortunately, Hollywood is involved with propaganda too.
Yep, they're really intertwined. It's kind of this disgusting,
yeah, exactly,
kind
man.
of circle jerk going on.
she had to go out there and give her her 1 cent worth of her opinion. You know, everyone's got an opinion. You don't see everyone in everyone that's in Hollywood give an opinion. You know, there's a few that I know of that really haven't said nothing. Made no opinions on that. On what she's doing. So let's see here. HBO Walkman actress, the Expanse actress Frances Fisher, called for a bleep bleep and is now deleted a tweet that also included a quote. So not only that, a tweet. And we're not going to mention the person that she's talking about right here.
This bitch think that she's fucking, Patty Hearst or something? I mean, what the hell's going on?
Really? I mean, look at this. Unbelievable. And it's like, okay, did your programming kick in? Did your programming kick in and your spy master told you what to say? Did they use a code word when they made a phone call?
Yeah, did the woman in the polka dot dress show up? I mean, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, man, it's getting weird, dude. I'm telling you. It's getting weirder. Let's just put it that way. Because what is it? Can't remember the movie. Enemy of the State.
Oh, the one with Gene Hackman.
No, the Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah,
movie.
The Manchurian Candidate. Oh, yeah.
That movie. Remember the guy got a phone call and the code word came in and all of a sudden he was doing what the script said in the movie?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Manchurian
the
Candidate.
With, they were both good, but
that's with Denzel Washington.
Yeah, there's one with Meryl Streep and Denzel Washington. That one is really good. And then there's the original with Frank Sinatra, and that one was really good. They're all good.
There was an original? Wow.
Yeah, the one with Frank Sinatra. That one's great.
Wow, man. That's amazing.
Yeah, a lot of people think it was predictive. It was warning about Manchurian. That it was warning us about Manchurian candidates like Sirhan, and
the Manchurian Candidate. That was a good movie.
Yeah, a lot of people think that Sirhan was a Manchurian Candidate, and they think that John Hinckley Jr. That was the one that shot Reagan, right? That he was a Manchurian Candidate. Basically, anybody that was found with a stack of books, The Catcher in the Rye. They were supposedly Manchurian candidates.
Yeah, and the one thing that came up in this movie, they talked about in the movie. They talked about MK Ultra in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this is the movies that we're talking about. We're talking about written scripts, movies,
fiction,
and so yeah, and. Not only that, the movie with Mel Gibson and Julia Roberts, Conspiracy Theory.
Oh, I like that movie
1997.
Too. Patrick Stewart's in that, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Real good movie.
That is a very good movie. I like it.
All of them were just freaking beautifully performed, man. Patrick Stewart's performance in that was just, I believed his character. It was mind-blowing.
You don't see Professor X or Picard anywhere near that character.
No. You see a deranged secret government employee that works in the shadows, man. That's what he was.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing. So basically one of two things happened. Some money got dumped into our account. Follow the money, they say. My boys are fighting. Hold on.
Yeah, I thought I heard something happening. Yeah, I like the song that Conspiracy Theory opens up with, too. God damn it. I'm trying to think of it. Da-na, 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 da-na. That's my favorite part of the song, and then it sucks after that. That would be a good one for Doomcock to do on one of his live streams. Hail Tyler Mango! RR says, yes, Conspiracy Theory was excellent. It was excellent. And Mr. Mooch says, that was an excellent movie, Conspiracy Theory. So, yeah, look at this.
So you were talking about the bus scene?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Hold on. I got noise in the background. So in the beginning of Conspiracy Theory, you talk when they go from the Warner Brothers symbol and they zoom into the bus, and the bus pulls away. You talking about that song?
Is it? Yeah. Shit, yeah. It's one of those fucking crooners. I think it is.
Yeah, I think that's I Love You Baby. Yeah,
it is. I Love You Baby. That's it. That's it. I Love You Baby. That's it.
Yeah.
It's a good song. I like it.
I love you, baby. Do 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 do. Let's not do too much of that. Don't want to.
You're much better karaokeer than I am. We should fire up some AC/DC, man.
Well, they say I do have a voice.
have you do rock and roll ain't noise pollution.
How you doing, Keck? How you doing, Tyler Mango? When I said hello to you, I was muted.
Oh, whoops.
What's up, Mr. Mooch? Great song. Amazing. There's a lot of great songs in that movie, man.
Yeah.
Some greats, I'm telling you.
Oh, we have 12 people watching us. That's not too shabby.
Not shabby, not at all.
The best chat on YouTube. So
indeed.
Lucky.
So yeah, I'm gonna head over to Cosmic Book News, and I'm gonna see what the latest is. Because Matt McGlone over there, he's one of my favorites.
So yeah, just an aside here with this lady he's talking about. The incident in question, it was obvious that there was an abuse going on. We showed the video on my stream, and you were on that stream as well. And the chat, many of them, that was their first time viewing the actual footage. And so there's obviously some abuses there. I think putting race front and center in incidences like that is a big mistake. I think you need to focus on the abuses of power and correcting those policies. You know, you have the general public that understands that kind of stuff is unacceptable. And if you make it about race, well, then you're alienating a large part of the public that's not going to be on your side.
Well, hello, Nancy, not Mr. Mooch.
Oh.
How you doing?
Hi, Nancy. Are you Mrs. Mooch? Ms. Mooch? Well, it's good to have you here, regardless. We don't judge.
Hey, it's a good song to be singing, having stuck in your head. It's better than that Muppet Song.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, I had to do it.
It's not that one.
Oh.
Don't hum it. Don't hum it. It'll be in everyone's head, and everyone will be mad. Yeah.
I will restrain myself. It'll be hard, but I'll do it.
So yeah, and all the current events and all that stuff, man, unbelievable. Yeah, and when it comes to that that particular officer, I've heard all kinds of rumors behind that guy.
Yeah, that's what you were saying backstage. I haven't really had a chance to look into it as much as I would have liked to, but I've certainly heard some things.
Basically, that's the I Love You Baby going on right there.
Yep.
Yeah. Apparently no one knows what that Muppet Song is, and that's a good thing. My brother-in-law, every now and then, he'll send me a clip. I'm like, you son of a gun. And then I won't send it back immediately. I'll wait until he's like at work, working nights, and then I'll send him a clip.
What kind of dog was Mr. Mooch, Nancy? Was Mr. Mooch like, Hooch's, related to Hooch?
Was it a black lab?
You had Turner and Hooch, and then we've got Mr. Mooch. Black Labs are good. I love Black Labs.
I love Black Lab. I like any kind of lab. I like them all.
Yeah, me too. They're great dogs. Pit bulls are nice too. I like pit bulls. You just have to introduce them to whoever's coming over to your house. If you do not do that, you could have some bitten guests.
Well, and it all depends on how the pit bull was raised. Yeah. I knew a lot of pit bull owners, and the training for their pit bulls was basically to protect the house and alert the owner, and that was it. And they would alert the owner. They wouldn't, and they could. They're trained so well they won't step off the property. They could be off chain in some cases that are trained really good. And and they're great around kids. They really are. They're good around kids. They will protect those kids like you wouldn't believe.
Oh, God damn it! Now I know what song you're talking about. Shit. Now it's stuck in my head. That is a catchy song.
It is. It is.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yep.
Dun, dun. Shit. Damn you!
Why do you think I didn't hum it?
Oh man. Right.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Mr. Mooch, or I'm sorry, Nancy says, nope, little Pomeranian thought he was a big dog. Oh.
Hey, I had a Chihuahua mixed with Rat Terrier. That dog thought he was bigger than the German Shepherd. Matter of fact, that same dog chased a very large, aggressive German Shepherd 20 houses down the street from our house. And every step that dog made, his name was Boss, and he bit the hind haunches every step that dog made 20 houses down. And then he came back walking all proud, and he was walking like a pride horse. You know those horses that walk fancy?
Yeah, my mom had a dog that walked like that.
He was walking like that, with his head up held high, tail wagging. Man, that dog, that German Shepherd, never came around again. Not again. And he was yelping all the way. Yelp, 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 yelp. It was the funniest thing I ever seen. And we're talking about a dog that's big enough to stand on top of a laptop closed. But the dog had the mouth of a big dog.
Yeah.
Let me see this.
Yeah. My mom had a dog. She thought was a lab. I think it was a Ridgeback. She thought it was a lab. Yeah, I thought it was a Ridgeback because they acted very hound-like, and he would strut around like a racehorse. He had that strut.
Check the community chat. Thanks, Parrot Head.
Yep. Yeah, I saw
Everybody's going to be humming it.
Such a catchy tune. Yep. What's funny is that I used to be the a-hole that used to share that song all the time a few years back.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, mana mana. Yeah, okay. I get it.
All right, let's get that out of there. Yeah. Freaking blew me away. Well, I found, who's this by? Matt McGlowan. This was posted today. You see here. Cosmic Book News launches Patreon, Snyder Cut, HBO Max, more. Oh. So Matt McGlowan's launching a Patreon page.
Who?
Huh. Matt McGlowan. He's got a Patreon news page. Yeah, that's what this is. Oh, basically, I've decided to launch a page.
Oh, go ahead.
He goes, I've decided to launch a Patreon page, which presently has articles and scoops related to Marvel, Inhumans, Snyder Cut, HBO Max, Netflix, and current state of Hollywood. The reason I decided to go with Patreon is that it is trustworthy and well-known platform where I can continue to build my cosmic book news community in a different and unique way. This costs only $5 a month, which will give users to Patreon-only content. What he should do is he should put a $1 one in there to get people to go into it. You know, have a $1 tier. He would snag a whole bunch of people because he, as far as I'm concerned, he does some really good stuff.
Yeah, I've got a $1 tier in mind, but I also have a $10,000 tier.
Holy shit. Anyone bought it yet?
Not yet. I only have 3 slots available. It's the Illuminati tax write-off tier.
And remember, that was a fictional thing from Tomb Raider. As I laugh.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. So let's see what else is going on. Ooh. Here we go. Henry Cavill, Superman, not a done deal. Rumor. Contradicting recent reports claim that Henry Cavill came back as Superman is not yet a done deal. So Wednesday we saw a report that Henry Cavill is returning to the Superman role, but only as appearances in other DC movies, and also that Warner Brothers has no plans in place for Man of Steel 2. The report came from Deadline, probably the biggest of the Hollywood trade sites. So basically what that means is that Deadline was fed the info from a Hollywood source to publish. However, the Hollywood Reporter is claiming otherwise, as THR says the situation is complicated. Before I continue, I believe it was THR who first said Henry Cavill was out as Superman. So keep in mind that various Hollywood sources use the different trade sites to leak info in order to further various agendas. That's what I like about Matt McGlone. He's not afraid to throw a little shade here and there. And, you know, Hollywood, they got multiple agendas when it comes to making movies and stuff. Mainly money and other things. So, back to the article. So, for example, Henry Cavill, people may have leaked. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. Cavill or Cavill?
Cavill?
Let me see here. Yeah. Apparently, I got ahead of myself. Yeah, all about the money. So, for example, Henry Cavill's people may have leaked info to Deadline, while Warner Brothers is using THR to say that not to be the case. It's all about getting leverage for negotiations. All about the money. That's my Here, let me send this link to you because I need to go check on something real quick.
Okay, Dwayne.
I'll let you.
John. The Rock. What's The Rock doing?
Okay, let me see here. Where are you at? I put the link in the private chat.
Ready? Interesting.
The rumor has it that Ben Affleck is going to star in and be showrunner of a Batman series on HBO Max. I'll let you leave off from right there.
Okay. Henry Cavill might look like. Let's see. Hold on, I'm trying to. Where did I leave off? Damn it. I think I ended up with a different link here. I think I'm looking at a different article, Bear. I've got a different article that he sent me, so Toxic Man Flu says, we aren't going to see many movies for a while. Like grapes without water, they will die on the vine. Yeah, I think so. You know, you have a lot of, actors, when they're not working, they tend to put on weight, or they tend to look a little different. So, it'd be interesting to see what happens with that. And then, sometimes actors and actresses, they pass away, and that's a little weird. Or you have a change at the studio, and they don't like the new thing happening, or they want to put their stamp on it. It's all very interesting. So, yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see Henry Cavill come back as Superman, but, I just feel like I watched the Donner cut of Superman 2 on Friday. Wait, on Thursday. And I gotta tell you, Christopher Reeve nailed the character of Clark Kent and Superman. And he nailed it in large part because of the good writing. So I think what we need to see is, a Superman that's a little bit more in character. Ara says, Cavill is staying in shape for The Witcher. Yes, he is. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, he's ripped. Yeah, I think the only way you can get that big is if you're doing the roids, if you know what I mean. I think you got to be on the juice to get to be that size.
Yeah.
Okay.
My boys were getting into something, and basically, when my boys are doing stuff and they're making certain noise, I get images when they make certain noise, and it's like, yeah, I got to go see what they're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's very responsible of you, Barry. We the chat would be asking if you hadn't.
Right. So yeah, I gotta. Yeah. There's when they're making noise, and then there's the heavy silence. It means they're scheming and they're sneaking and doing something they shouldn't be. They're being really quiet. And the only time they're being really quiet is when they're just basically doing something they know they're not supposed to.
Sounds like kids. So,
what's up, guys?
Says he's definitely juicing.
Hey, there's an old-fashioned way bodybuilding, basically to basically build bulk quick. You can do it with basically an all-protein diet, basically meat, and basically you're talking about eating every night. You're going to eat probably a 12-ounce steak every night, and you're gonna. And also, what we used to do is we used to get that Joe Weider protein. I don't. They probably still make it, but that's what we used to use back when I was an athlete. It's back when I wrestled. I wrestled 205 wrestling weight, and at the time I weighed 195, and so I had to bodybuild and do heavy protein diet to put on bulk. And it's possible without steroids, because I knew people that were on steroids, the other athletes that were doing it, and you could tell.
Yeah, sometimes they don't do it right. They'll get stretch marks all over the fucking place.
Well, they kind of got a crazy, distant look in their eye from doing it.
Acne, crazy, distant look.
Yeah, always very, very intense. Yeah, they were very obvious. One of my classmates back in high school, Steve, comes into mind. He was a small guy, but all of a sudden, 6 months later, he was huge. Huge.
Wow. Thank you, Nancy. Nancy has joined me on Patreon. I hope you enjoy some of the stuff we do over there.
Hey, Digga.
Yeah, I don't know. He's pretty damn big, though. Yeah, I tried a heavy protein diet and was light on the carbs, but yeah, my body didn't agree with me. I got really stopped up. Like 3 or 4 days. It was pretty brutal and miserable.
That's why there's another trick. You remember the Metamucil?
Mm-hmm.
Fiber, the orange drink.
Yeah.
Basically, you mix. We would mix Metamucil fiber drink, and we would mix that with the Joe Reader.
See, I thought shakes. It was wider. It's weeder?
Hey, I'm from Indiana. I guess that's the way we pronounce it.
Oh, hey, I don't know, man. I've never heard it pronounced. I just read it as wider.
Yeah. That's why I've always called it Weeder, and everyone else called it Weeder out there. Hey, it's Weeder, Northwestern wider. Indiana. They speak differently, you know.
Tomato, potato, potato.
Yeah, exactly.
R says protein is hard on the kidneys. Yeah, it's also hard on your colon.
Yeah, that's why you basically fiber. Fiber would balance out the and you can do that. You can get away with that when you're young. I was at the time. I was probably bench pressing 400 pounds once in a max bench press, and I could bench press 3 times 300 pounds. And basically, when we were in wrestling, basically what we were instructed by our wrestling coach, and that we should take the weight training program, because the weight training program conveniently lasted the whole time while the wrestling season was going. And so we had a weight trainer, and he was training us. He was a damn good trainer too. Cool guy. Basically, my wrestling coach was a retired Marine Corps drill sergeant. Well, I not only had that weightlifting class, but I also had regular gym class that we attended. And guess what? He was also a retired Marine Corps drill sergeant, and he used to be the wrestling coach.
Huh, what are the odds?
Yeah, and put it to you this way, this man was in Jamaica. He got hit by a bus. Arms broken, leg broken. A month later, he was back at it. Out of casts, back at it, doing his routine. Unbelievable, man. The guy was an animal.
Holy crap, what happened to the bus?
I think it's got therapy for the rest of its life. Telling you. So this guy was our gym teacher, and he looks at all of us that are on the wrestling team. He's like, all right, those of you that are on the wrestling team, those of you, I know Coach Sheriff. I used to be his coach. I taught him everything I know. And so if you guys think I'm going to be going easy on you and going light, you got another thing coming. And if you don't give 200%, guess what? You're going to be running relays. Straight up. That was no joke. And yes, when he thought that some of us weren't given what we should have, we ran relays. No, the whole gym class. Yeah. So those of us on the wrestling team, because of that, we weren't really liked at times. We caught a lot of flack from the regular students that were in the class, in gym class, you know. Craziness. Could I today bench press 300 or 400 pounds? Probably not. 200? Maybe. But yeah, that was like a long time ago. We're talking 88. That was 19. Yeah.
You still retain some, some of your muscles even after once you've worked out and you've gained muscle, you still retain a little bit of it even if you haven't been working out. And it's just like it's also just like when you do martial arts, when you get flexible, You never get as stiff and unflexible as you were before you started. You always retain some flexibility.
Yeah, I've always been the type that has always shot for the underdog. You know, if I ever seen the underdog getting mistreated, I was the one that was there. Hey, man, in middle school, I used to put bullies in frickin' lockers. Ain't nothing more satisfying than putting a fucking bully in a locker. I'm telling you. Still don't like bullies.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I don't think. I just listened to the Parrot, the song, the version that Parrot had sent over. Cake. Cake is a band that comes from my hometown of Sacramento. Yes. I do think I like the original better, though. Although they do a pretty good rendition, from what I heard.
Look at that.
Tyler Mango says, Ghost Bear can bench press 500 tons.
If only. Yeah. Now, there's been some times, the power of prayer is a really powerful thing. And though I was doing a clutch job on I think it was an 82 Toyota Corolla wagon, rear-wheel drive. The clutch went out. And so I got this old timer telling me pretty much everything to do and all that. And it took me 4 hours just to get the bolts holding the transmission in. You had like a centimeter or two to move the ratchet. Dink, dink. Oh my God, talk about monotonous. But when it came time to get the because the throwout bearing and the plate that's held in, it's held in by some odd shaped bolts. And
it's not that Torx head bullshit, is it?
No, it wasn't. No, there was no Torx. This was just smaller bolt heads, and they were old. We're 82 Toyota Corolla. This was back in 2002 when I was working on this, and the car was already old. And so it took me all those bolts. There was 1, 2, 3, 5. I think there were six of them. They weren't very big. And I tried at it for like 30 minutes or so, almost 40 minutes, and I was not. And every lubricant you can think of, JB Weld, not JB Weld, but Liquid Wrench, PB Blast. I had it all on there. So I started praying. One pop loose again. Start praying again. And pray native way, by the way. And they all came out. But I could not get that throwout bearing out. It was literally fused. It had welded itself with the metal, and it would not come out. So I didn't replace the throwout bearing.
Yeah, they'll do that sometimes. I wouldn't expect it on a vehicle like that, though.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And so that vehicle, it lasted quite a bit longer after that. But I think it was the throwout bearing that basically froze up the whole system. And it went. Yeah, Liquid Wrench is good, but PB Blast is the best. It will penetrate down into the threads real deep. Because basically, how you get some old cars that ain't had a tire taken off in a long time? And how people they'll go, crack, oh shit, just broke a stud.
Yeah, you do that when you get a cheater bar.
Well, basically what you do is you get yourself some PB Blast, spray it down, and give it a week. Let it soak in. Spray it down in the middle of it, and a week later, break them free. It'll break free like butter. Works good.
Yeah, if you if you get if you tap on it a little bit with the hammer, sometimes that'll do the trick, and then turn it. Just lightly tap, just tap tap tap.
Yeah,
sometimes that'll do the trick.
And then in a pinch, pull a torch out and turn the damn thing glowing red. Let it cool a little bit, and then do what you said: tap tap tap.
I think my brother was a little better with that method than I was. I got a little too carried away.
Yeah, I really liked that Toyota wagon. It had sports car spirit, big time, because it was supposed to have 70s on it. So what I did is I got 75s. They're a little bit taller of a tire, and it made the handling a little better. And it was a zippy little car, gotta say. A little 5-speed. It had a 3TC engine in it. It had a Japanese version of Hemi engines. Yeah, Japanese Hemi engines. You know that if you buy a Toyota, that's pretty much if you got if your spark plug are going down the center of your head, the head of the engine on your Toyota vehicle. On the majority of them, they're considered Hemi engines because that spark plug hole is right down the center of the head. It was the weirdest thing I ever seen. And then I had a mechanic tell me, it's like, oh yeah, these basically Japan had somehow they were able to use the patent for the Chrysler Hemi engine, and they must have paid to use it or something. But they were able to create 4-cylinder Hemi engines. And 82 was considered a 3TC engine.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know a lot about Toyotas, but yeah, a lot more people drove stick shifts back then. A lot, it's hard to find stick shifts these days. A lot of people are pussies and they don't know how to drive them. Like my Xterra, that's a stick shift.
Yeah,
it's better to have a stick shift, I think. Put the power where you want it, when you want it. It makes even a car that's not super fast a little bit more fun, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was a fun little car. I've had some cars and a few cars here and there, and that car was fun. I took a friend of mine for a ride in it. And they were really surprised how well it handled and how quick it was. Shit, it had a 120 on a speedometer. And its cruising speed, you know how the center speed is your cruising speed? Cruising speed was 60. And most cruising speeds on most vehicles is 55. Some are 50. Yeah. So yeah, on your speedometer, that middle number in the speedometer is normally 55 or 60. Yeah, it comes in handy to be able to do a thing or two.
Nancy says Datsun was good. The Datsun 510 indeed lowered, handled amazingly. Yeah, Datsun did have some good cars.
Yeah, they did.
The 280Z that was a very cool car.
Wasn't the 280Z a rotary engine?
I think you're thinking of the RX-7, the Mazda RX-7.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They looked very similar. I thought
Datsun also had a rotary engine.
I don't think so.
I know Mitsubishi early on, they had one too. But they got away from rotary engines because...
Oh, those things are gas hogs, and they burn a lot of oil.
Yeah, I've had a bunch of clunkers and had to work on them here and there. Yeah, okay. You know, in order for me to on my Caravan, in order for me to do a spark plug job, I have to remove the alternator to reach the back bank closest to the firewall. Yeah, want to talk about a pain? That's a pain in the butt.
Yep. Indeed. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes there's always that one spark plug that's hard to reach. You end up skinning the shit out of your knuckles trying to get to it.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't remove the alternator, and you could technically get to it from the other side, but you see the spark plugs are angled toward the alternator. So you have to reach in from the alternator side because they're angled the right way to pull them off. And I have a little thing called clamp hose pliers. Sometimes if they're hard to take off, you use your clamp hose pliers and one hand put it on there and squeeze, and then it helps get it off sometimes. Because it's that back bank, man. The very first time that I did a spark plug job, well, people have a tendency of not doing the back bank because they can't reach it. And so there was one time I knew I had to do a spark plug job, and I because it was already running rough, and so one day I come out the vehicle and it just start. So thinking that okay, because I was going over to buddies to do the spark plug job. So what I did is I put the front bank in, all three. Started right up. That got me over to buddies, and I got the back bank put in. But man, that was fouled out plugs, man. It can cause you some serious problems.
Yeah, you got to make sure you have the right ones and the right heat range, and can't have them in there too long.
So yeah, I had
back on those things. Yeah, I actually had points ignitions. Yeah, fouling could be a problem on those.
Yeah, I had trying to think if that had a point ignition system. I don't think it did.
Wait, I don't know.
There was timing. You did have to set the timing. It was the electronic distributor.
Well, yeah, if it was electronic, it didn't have it. See,
Toyota
for a while, the Toyotas had dual points. It was a big.
Didn't
go electric.
79, man. I had a 79 Toyota truck. It had dual points. Yeah.
God, man, you want to talk? Kids today are so spoiled. You work on something like that, you have to set what's called the dwell. You have to set the timing is a nightmare. You have to dial all that shit in.
I used to have it was a 1970 model year that was released in '69 in November, and I had one, and it's got points. So I did not have a point gapper. So what I used is a matchbook and an old file. File it down a little bit, put a matchbook in there, tighten it back up, pull it out. I'd start it. And I'd do that every time until everything was timed in timing. I did it by ear. It took me a while, but it ran. It stayed running. Wouldn't bog out or anything like that. Points, man. I can't stand them.
Yeah, they're bullshit.
Give me an electronic distributor any day.
All you got to do is just pull the rotor off, swap the rotor out, and swap the cap, and you're good to go.
Yeah. But yeah, I had a 1986 GLI Jetta GLI Wolfsburg edition. That was a fast little car. It had 142 in the speedometer, I believe. And I had it buried once. Of course, I was 23 at the time. Pretty crazy, you know. Would do pretty much anything with a vehicle, pretty much speeding wise, anything like that. Oh yeah, that car was fast. I drove it through the Pocono Mountains. I believe the highway was called the Pocono Highway. I believe. I forget the route number. But man, you want to talk about a beautiful journey? Jeez. and it was buried almost the whole way down and then back up. It's a huge valley, huge mountainous region, and beautiful. And I had it buried, and I was probably doing at least 150 up and down the curves. And my fiance at the time, she was holding on real tight and all that. That's okay. When she drove, she scared me too. Yeah, if you ever go out to the Black Hills, and there's a road that goes in a curlicue. I believe they call it Pigtail Road, and it's a spiral that goes up the hill. It's built-in bridges. It's really weird. And well, when you go up it, and then when you come back on my side of the road, there's like a drop off, and she's driving. And I got this heights thing that makes my stomach flip flop, butterflies. And it was all I could do not to put my hand on the steering wheel. It's not that her driving was bad; it's just the edge of that drop off was right there, and there's a good 500 feet drop off at least.
Where are the Poconos? What state are they in?
Pennsylvania.
Oh.
Out east. Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Now, I'll tell you, man, here in Northern California, we had a thunderstorm that was very reminiscent of the types of thunderstorms that happened back east, like at 4 a.m. this morning. Holy crap. It was like Fantasia out there. It's like, I thought it was like Sarajevo, 1990s Sarajevo or something. It was just like lightning. One flash was so bright, I thought lightning struck right outside my windows.
We had a thunderstorm here right about the same time.
Yeah, maybe they're firing up HARP again.
Who knows? Who knows? So yeah, bunch of crazy stuff going on out there, man. I went out. I had to go to the store real quick, pick up some chicken nuggets and get a couple loaves of bread and stuff. And it was right down the road, so it was real convenient to get there and back. And you go out, man, the tension in the air. And I don't know if you know this about masks of any kind, even the N95 kind. Got to really read the warning labels on those things. They tell you there's a certain percent of microns that can get through, even on the N95 masks, and even the plain masks. And I have really bad allergies, so I'm not going to wear a mask. I'm not going to rebreathe my own CO2. And so it feels really weird out there, man. I gotta say.
Yeah, I've noticed the same kind of thing happening out there. Yeah. I mean, not so much up here, but just looking at what's happening on social media and my Facebook page and the things people are talking about, I see it there a lot.
Kai, they're the Pocono Mountains in Pennsylvania.
Yep. Oh, see, RR's getting it right now. Yep, that thunderstorm. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Then it was unusual for California. It was pretty crazy. And then rain. I'd never gotten that much rain in such a short period of time.
Yeah, it's still thunderous looking out right now. It's been raining. I don't think it's really stopped raining since the early morning thunderstorm this morning.
Yeah, there was, we did have a really bad storm earlier this year, and I up in Chico, and it was just like weird. It was only in Chico. And, man, I think I got stuck for like 2 hours. I couldn't leave. It was raining so hard you couldn't even see like a few feet, very well.
I'm kind of wondering if the system that hit you was the same system that hit me.
Well, yeah, it could be.
Because remember, there was a typhoon, the largest typhoon ever recorded, just happened that hit India. and the news didn't even talk about it.
Yeah, the weather report didn't talk anything about a thunderstorm. All they said was partly cloudy. That's all it had on it.
And it's like, the Mockingbird media, they've really got their wires crossed, big time.
Very much so.
Because basically you must be east of us. Because I'm in Olympia, Washington, and Wes, you're what, Northern California?
Northern California, yep. So it looks, yeah. I'm looking at the radar right now. Oh, yeah, up north. Man, you guys are really getting it. Looks like a couple of different systems. Yeah, the system that hit me, looks like it's moved east. There's a couple of cells.
Love flying back from Vegas. A cloud of lightning was flying right alongside the plane. It was wild, just lightning in a cloud. It was magnificent. Wow. Did you get pictures?
Yeah, get pictures.
I do believe you're following me on Twitter. Hey, Lantian, how you doing?
I'm doing. How about you?
Oh, doing, man. A little rainy thunderstorm this morning, and talking about current events, and we were talking about the last word of the Pink Floyd and stuff like that, and all the just crazy shit going on, and a little bit about Henry Cavill. we started the live stream with a funk song.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
Take your word for it. Never heard of it.
Here.
Oh, man.
Let's see here. So how you feeling, man?
I'm tired. I just got off of my own live stream maybe an hour ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep, got to recharge when you get done with those live streams.
That right there.
Oh.
Yeah, we started with that.
Nice.
Let it play to half through, and then I jumped on and sounded like I was amped on coffee. And it was 2 hours earlier I had a coffee.
2 hours earlier you had a coffee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I could use a coffee. I feel like...
So yeah, that's what we started with.
That's cool.
Yeah. I like to take songs from the free section, and I'll take anywhere from 3 to 4 tracks, sometimes 5, and I'll mess with volume and gain and all that, and I will blend them together, and I will make it sound like one completely different track.
That's cool.
I got it somewhere. I got a lot of them that I made a blend, and it sounded almost like a Grateful Dead song. I had blended them so well together. Just instrumental. Because that's the majority of what they got is instrumental in the free section on YouTube.
Oh, you're talking about the YouTube Studio stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, they have
free,
a lot of
the free audio.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I get the kind you don't have to
attribute.
Yeah.
I don't know. The stuff you have to attribute is usually a lot better. I use one song that requires attribution in my quick chat, the little banjo thing. I think it's funny. Just the way it starts out. That's why I use it. It makes me laugh.
Oh, banjo music is awesome.
It's in the right context. It's one of those songs that just it's kind of like Benny Hill.
Yeah.
It's one of those, or the Spanish Flea. You can listen to it normally, but in certain instances, it just makes anything really, really funny for like no real reason other than the song is funny.
Yeah, I grew up watching Benny Hill.
Yeah, me too. My grandpa was really into him.
UHF dial, man. Free Benny Hill. I mean, that's basically the way adolescent kid got to see some tits popping out and around here and there, and without really showing no tits, but it was just like, wow, that's pretty obvious. Like, whoa, that's really obvious. But yeah, it was funny stuff. Benny Hill, love Benny Hill. Benny Hill actually played in The Italian Job.
Really?
In 1969, yeah. With
the first one.
The first one, 1969, yeah. I actually, I found a obscure copy of it because it was basically out of circulation, and then one day it ended up on Vudu, and I'm like, mine. So I have it on Vudu now. What I want to do is I want to get like I hope they come out with a Blu-ray version of it.
Maybe. I don't know, see if they have.
Because I don't even know if it's available. Because when I found it, it was just one of those obscure things I found because it was something that really wasn't being played on TV no more. And
on Vudu, on Google Play, it's on YouTube.
It's on Vudu now, yeah. Yeah, you can buy it.
The 69 version.
So I have both. I have the new one and I have the old one.
I haven't seen either one, to be honest with you. But
oh man, you gotta check it out.
I've heard of them, but I haven't really. It's one of those I haven't taken time to watch. It's not like I never had an interest or anything. I never took the time to watch them.
If you like those old school caper movies, it'll do it for you. It's a good caper. It's a good caper movie. There's an old word. Most Hollywood don't even use that terminology anymore. Caper. You know?
No,
they use crime now. They heist.
Yeah.
But you see, in the 60s, it was a good caper movie, you know? Good thing. Awesome movie. I was actually, yesterday, I watched a couple different Burt Reynolds movies. I'm a huge Burt Reynolds fan. And I watched, and I would behoove everybody to watch Hooper. Because it shows how rotten Hollywood can be. On how much money they will pay somebody to risk their life to do a stunt. It gives a pretty realistic view of how Hollywood operates.
Wasn't Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that Tarantino movie, wasn't that supposed to, wasn't Leo DiCaprio supposed to be playing, wasn't that character based on Burt Reynolds?
I think it was based off the Hooper movie. Jan, Vincent Dean, and Burt Reynolds. I think their two characters were based off of those two guys. Because it was, if you watch that one, watch Hooper before you watch that one, and then watch the new one that you just mentioned. Because I have it too, and it's amazing. It's amazing what they actually tried to do and honor all the old gaffers and all the old stunt guys and all the old school actors. Because the way I understand it, Burt Reynolds did some of his own stunts, not all of them, but Burt Reynolds was pretty active in what he did and all that stuff. And man, great freaking movies. Stroker Ace, great movie. I mean, before Smokey and the Bandit happened, there was Stroker Ace, there was Hooper, and basically it was just an accumulation of the personalities that Burt Reynolds had portrayed. And he portrayed that campy hero cowboy that was a little more modern with vehicles and stuff. Awesome. It's an homage. It's basically an homage to the old cowboy days, you know?
Yeah, I've seen Smokey and the Bandit was a good movie.
I thought, yeah, Smokey and the Bandit 2 was good too, because Dom DeLuise is in that one. Although it didn't receive the same fanfare as the first one, but it was still a halfway decent movie.
Yeah, supposedly behind the scenes, I guess they switched the Firebird. It didn't have the 455. It had the I don't remember the Pontiac equivalent. Whatever the 5-liter is that like a 302? Is it a Pontiac 302? I don't know.
Possible.
I'm not good.
It's a 3-something.
Yeah, so it might have been a 305. 305 is a Chevy, but I thought Pontiac's was a 302. I don't know. Anyway, it was turbocharged, and I guess GM hadn't figured out turbocharging, and that thing was such a dog. They had to give it hits of nitrous for it to even burn out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like it couldn't even get out of its own way.
Oh, you're talking about Gator? The White Lightning was the first movie, then Gator was the second movie. Hey, Comic Chat.
Hello, Comic Chat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was 2 Cannonball Runs too. I remember that one. Yeah, Cannonball Run was a fun movie.
And the stuff that they do in Stroker Ace is very similar to the stuff they do in Cannonball Run. Great movies, man. Back when they cared, back when some actors cared and they weren't totally about getting paid. There was a lot of cool stuff going on, man, in these movies. Of course, they in Hooper, they do show a realistic side. That these stuntmen, when they're doing this stuff, man, they're eating pain pills left and right because they've done racked their body and they've had so many injuries. Hooper is a great movie. It gives you a good eyeball into what a stuntman does. And I don't know about you guys, but I tried doing all the stunts the stuntmen were doing when I was a kid. The 20-foot the ramp off the hill that most people used to do and show people basically biting it. I've done that and landed and didn't crash. About a 20-foot hill, put a ramp on top of it, hit the ramp, you get 20 foot of air, and then you get a vertical drop. Boom. You hit that hill. Man, telling you. Yeah, I had to, back then they were just coming out with Diamondback bikes, diamond frames. And I didn't have that. I took a old Schwinn 20-inch frame that had a banana seat and had those weird ape hanger like handlebars. Took those off, took the banana seat off, stripped it down. My dad took it to a welder. He sandblasted it, and my dad asked the guy to reinforce every single weld on that bike because my dad pretty much knew what I was doing with that bike. And the first set of rims on that bike after we fixed it, I ovaled them.
Oh,
yeah, ovals. First jump, had to walk it home. So, Dad goes, okay, I'll get another 2 more sets of wheels and stuff like that, and did again. And then he goes, damn. He goes, you know what? We ain't messing around. We're getting you triple heavy duty rims and triple heavy duty knobbies and inner tubes, and the linings on the inside as well. You put that lining on the inside so when you land, your tires don't pop, and that's important because sometimes you're landing not on dirt, sometimes you're landing on blacktop or concrete.
Oh yeah.
And yes, I have done the spills that Evel Knievel did and landed on my shoulder. My God, that was not fun. You slide on your shoulder and guess what? The skin disappears.
Yeah. So
yeah, I was doing crazy ass shit all throughout my adolescent life up until I was a teenager, And when I started to become a teenager, I got away from because when I fell, my God, it hurt way more than it ever hurt. And so I pretty much I stopped doing that. I stopped being Daredevil. But yeah, the whole neighborhood I grew up in, I was one of 2, the Daredevil twins. Oh, he's one of the Daredevil twins. Me and a buddy of mine, Jeff, man, we'd jump anything, any ramp, do anything. Ride a bike off a roof with a proper landing ramp. Yeah, we were crazy. Crazy stuff. And geez, I was watching Evel Knievel jump these amazing jumps and stuff like that. We wanted to be Evel Knievel, all of us. That was the biggest thing back in those days. Yeah. And watching Burt Reynolds and all that, and watching stuntmen perform some of the stunts that Burt Reynolds did, some of these car stunts, and man, it's one of the biggest things that influenced me, with watching these really good movies, And yeah, I just watch White Lightning. It's with Burt Reynolds, and Gator is the next movie after that, and because his character's name is Gator. Great movie.
Never seen it. Have to check it out.
Yeah, Eastbound Down, Rolling and Trucking. Yeah, and was it Jerry Reed that played Snowman?
Yeah,
was also in Gator. He played the bad guy in Gator. Man, he plays a good bad guy.
Jerry Reed is awesome. Jerry
man,
best.
He sung the song, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did.
A lot of the songs that he sung was on Smokey and the Bandit movies, and some of the other movies too. I think Gator. I think there might have been some of his songs that were also in that one. In Gator, I think Jerry Reed's songs was in that movie too, because they got some music in the background. It sounded like Jerry Reed. Yeah, one of my favorite country singers when I was a kid. And I didn't like much country when I was a kid. It wasn't very cool. But Jerry Reed, Smokey Snowman, that was cool.
Jerry Reed was amazing.
Yeah. So that was something. And my grandmother, she liked country western. And so I got exposed to country western. And
I could have sworn I've seen Smokey and the Bandit when I was a kid, but I don't remember a thing about it. So it's one of those. It's like I probably should.
Oh, it makes for a wonderful rewatch then, you know? Absolutely. Yeah, I'm also a spaghetti western fan.
Like Clint Eastwood type stuff.
Not just Clint Eastwood. There's two obscure. I think there's 2 or 3 obscure spaghetti westerns. I think it's done by the same people that did Sergio Leone. I think he was involved in it. My Name is Trinity. No, they call me Trinity, and another one is My Name is Nobody. 2 different westerns, and man, those are 2 great movies. My grandfather that's from Mexico, turned me on to that movie when I was a kid, and man, talk about great movies. That's the one thing that me and my cousins, would sit down with Grandpa and watch westerns, and that was fun times, good movies.
Yeah, I liked a lot of those westerns. They're pretty cool. Had a lot of heart. Parrot says Bert wanted to do Smokey and the Bandit. Oh wait.
Oh, he did? Say it again, Wes.
Oh, I got ahead of your chat. Your highlight. Go ahead.
Oh, there it is. Well, they pop in sometimes, and they'll pop in, and sometimes I'll see them first. Sometimes you guys will see them first. It's weird, because when I'm on Wes's channel and we're live streaming, on the live comments in the yard, you can see them but can't chat from there. I see them before he does. It's weird.
Yeah, I seem to always get them late for whatever reason.
Yeah, there seems to be a bit of a delay between there and between whatever they're chatting from and stream.
Right. Because there's about a 3 or 5 second delay when you end a live stream.
There's a delay with the stream anyway.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's maybe like 3 or 4 seconds. It's not very long.
I think it's longer than that.
Oh, and by the way, My Name is Nobody and Trinity is free on YouTube right now. That was so awesome. I just ran across it randomly. And it's just like, have you guys noticed that all kinds of movies have been popping up?
On YouTube?
Yeah.
What do you mean, like showing up in the algorithm and such?
In the suggested, all over the place.
Yeah, the algorithm is really screwy.
Oh
I don't know what's going on. Like, I can't even watch anything good on my own YouTube on my phone because I'm watching one thing and it'll, in the suggested videos, it'll be something wildly different. Like, recently I've been watching Tim Pool. I get my political fill at work, and it's like, okay, he's got a video there, and the video underneath, it's like from some game video I watched. I'm like, that has nothing to do with this. Stop suggesting that.
I have the same thing.
Yeah.
Or it's what my algorithm's been doing to me lately. It's been suggesting music video mixes.
Yeah.
And it's irritating because apparently YouTube doesn't know what a mix playlist is. It's just showing you. It's just regurgitating music videos you've already watched. It's like, if you want to be a music player and suggest a mix, play me videos that aren't ones I've watched 7 times over.
Oh, did you know at one point in time, if you crossed the Mississippi with beer, you were technically bootlegging?
What?
You didn't know this?
Oh, I thought
out east, if you're in the Midwest and you got, say, 3 or 4 cases of beer in your car, you're basically on Grateful Dead tour. You're traveling cross country. It's not no more, but when I was a teenager, it was still considered bootlegging, and I believe in my early 20s, because I took a lot of beer across the Mississippi, and basically the Texarkana line, I crossed that into and I think it was into Utah, and I stopped and hung out with some friends from Utah, and I had real beer because they sell weak beer in Utah, or they used to. and they're like, "Oh my God, you got Guinness, you got Heineken, you got Bass, you got Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, you got Sierra Nevada IPAs." I had it all. I had like 2 cases of Guinness. I had a case of Bass. I had a case of Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, case of Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, IPA. Good beer, and that's what was left over when I got off a tour. That's because I had like 10 cases of different types of beer.
I think you named 2 of my top 3 in that.
Guinness,
Sierra Nevada, and Guinness. Yeah.
I must have drank way too many Sierra Nevadas on that trip because I really don't like Sierra Nevada no more. even and Budweiser is the same way, because you on a Grateful Dead tour lot, you can buy a can of Budweiser for $1. And oh man, I drank way too many freaking Budweisers because of that convenience.
Yeah.
Budweiser sold for $1. Hey, hot, sweaty day, ice cold Budweiser goes down real fast.
I say on a hot day, you're not complaining about what kind of beer you drink.
No, you're not really. And you know how fast 3 cans of Budweiser can go down? We're talking minutes, ice cold.
If you don't want to taste it, it can go down pretty fast.
Yeah, I'd always been, anytime I had Budweiser or Coors around, Coors is better than Budweiser a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah. One of the reasons why they had to do that in Smokey and the Bandit as a plot point was because way back when you couldn't do cold filtered beer. It was outlawed in a lot of places in the country, so that was why they had to smuggle it out there. Fun fact. But anyway, I would always mix that kind of
awesome.
Those American lager beers like Budweiser. I do like a bloody beer. And that it would be decent that way. Put some spicy V8 in there with some Tabasco sauce.
Hey, my friends in Utah, I was very popular. Yeah, they helped me drink all that beer. We had a staring at the moon party, and we drank all that beer. It was gone sunup.
Oh, I saw you peek through there for a second.
What, when I lit my cigarette?
Yeah, that was kind of a cool effect, actually.
What, do you want a green screen or something?
Yeah.
Ooh, man, tell us a ghost story, Bear.
Well, I have been dubbed by Tyler Mongo the Ghost Bear. And Tyler Mongo officially announced me back. The Ghost Bear is back. Let's see here. On your green screen settings, I have it set at 55, and if I had a lamp shining at me, you'd be able to see my face and nothing else.
Really?
You see the outline silhouette.
See, even though you can't see the green, if I do the green color cast on the curtain back there, I think it actually does have a slight effect where the green is. Let me see if I can do it.
Yeah.
Hold on. Got to get the right hue.
So I have a blue blanket behind me, so I can do something similar to it, but it's just gonna show.
Well, never mind. It's not working at all. Whoa. The hell just happened? There we go. Now you can see it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna say my backdrop color is technically blue.
That looks kind of cool, Wes, actually.
That's like that fucking yeah. It's kind of creepy. That's really weird.
Yeah, it is a little weird, isn't it? There you go.
I don't have a green screen set up anyway, but I've been considering getting one.
I wonder what other cool stuff I can add back there. Yeah. Be damned.
It's also one of those things I'm going to need a lot more room for. I don't have the luxury of room at the current moment to set up a green screen behind me.
There we go. Now I look more like Bear.
Yeah.
Open your mind, Quaid.
Apparently,
open your mind.
LED light will not show up to light your face up on a green screen, but flame will.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Whoa.
It's like,
I look like Zordon from the Power Rangers now.
Yeah.
Well, think of the guy on the Brazil label, the movie, with stuff exploding out of his head.
Oh God.
Because I recently ran across the Brazil movie. I'm going to rewatch it soon.
Oh, the one with the Mr. Azuzu or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's interesting.
So yeah, if you wear a blue shirt and you got a blue screen on, you'll be just a floating head. Because I wore a slightly green tinted shirt, and so I was just basically a floating head with disembodied arms.
Yeah, it's not gonna work too well. It's gonna leave me sort of floating in my own title screen here.
That's not too bad. Whatever.
I don't have the proper setup for it.
Yeah, my green screen sheet that I use is 2 shades away from being the right green, but it still works.
Yeah.
If I turn the light on,
it doesn't ever seem to be too picky about it. It just works.
But I put that slider bar all the way over, and it's just an image.
Yeah.
That's tonight's thumbnail.
I use the same thumbnail for my streams.
There's some things going on in LA right now, and
yep.
Final's not with us because he's keeping an eye on things. Staying vigilant.
The country's gone crazy. Rephrasing, certain parts of the country have decided to go crazy.
Well, for lack of a better word, we can just call it a Soros operation.
If you want to get, if you want to think like that, I don't.
No, it's truth. It's fact. There were buses showing up.
I don't doubt that that most of the riots are manufactured. There's too much going on for it to be a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
at the same time, it's just like, what? I don't even want to talk about it right now. It just hurts my head to think. I was like, I don't know.
Well, if you knew what I know, your fucking head would explode. That is no joke, man. Seriously. But we cover light conspiracy stuff on this show, and we cover some of the minor stuff, and we don't go into detail. We kind of make fun of it a little bit, and we create laughter out of it because you can do nothing but laugh at it, really.
Yeah.
And the last word of Pink Floyd. You know, what happened to that man was a horrible thing. And the good news is the Justice Department is looking into it. They are going to investigate it. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And, you know, and I think basically that mayor has been called to resign. And if that's the will of the people, then that's the will of the people. You know, leave it to the people that live there. Say, hey, let's do that. You know, sign their recalls or whatever they got to do.
Well, they did torch a police station, so you know I've got mixed feelings about that.
Well, that shit's not cool, because here's the thing: there was normal everyday protesters that were there, and now I caught a clip on Twitter. I shared it out. And these guys were pointing out the stack of bricks that just got loaded in the protest area, got set there randomly. And so the guy was calling it out and says, this wasn't here an hour ago. And he called it out. He's like, this is not nice. This ain't right. And he called it out. And it was good that he did. I thought it was cool. So I retweeted it.
Yes, I saw that too, and it's a little weird.
Yeah, and there's stuff like that popping up all over the place, and I'm seeing it all over the place. And so basically, think black hats. Just think of these people as black hats working against the white hats, and that's really what. And if you want to just sum it up, that's really what it is.
Something screwy is really going on, though.
Yeah,
and it's like,
yeah, Pink Elephant and Pink Floyd. There's some strange happenings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I've only heard about the things that were going on in Minneapolis. I haven't heard much about anywhere else. I'm not sure that things are going to spread, but I don't know.
Yeah, we can have a discussion about that after the show. But yeah, there's reasons these things are happening, and basically, there's an old saying: follow the money. Follow the money. I heard someone talking about there was a protest a few months back, and I don't know what town it was, but a bus came in, and everybody in that town, law enforcement and all that, they showed up and says, get this bus, send it back to where it go. They wouldn't let no one off that bus. They told them, no, get out of here. We know who you are.
We know what you're up to.
Yeah, I forget who told me that.
Oh, I saw that too. Yeah, I think that was posted in one of the chats.
Yeah, I don't remember who, where it was, but I thought that was a grand thing. You know, basically towns, big cities, be vigilant. You see these buses coming in, send them buses packing. It's a good thing. Yeah, it's the divide and conquer. Don't let them divide you. Basically, I have a thumbnail. I came up with an idea, and when I created the thumbnail, it's squawking squawkers, the lamestream media. I created some fancy little words and all that, and it looks really cool. And yeah, it's pretty much what they are. They're just squawking, and pretty much anything that they're saying is a narrative. And you can go out there, you can find videos that have news segments from all these local news channels, and they're all saying the same thing.
Yep.
I randomly ran across it. I was like, wow, that's strange, but I wasn't really surprised by it. So basically, and this is what I think is the most coolest thing. They can't control the narrative because of YouTube and people that are talking and communicating. And as long as that continues to happen, people are going to continue to talk and communicate, and people are going to really know what's going on because of that. And I think that's probably the most awesome thing out of all of this.
No, that's the good side of it. The bad side is people who believe the narrative or have their own agenda to push are going to be able to be heard just as well as those of people like us trying to say, hey, these people are lying. So it's a double-edged sword there. It creates another battlefield where the old media used to be, or where the old legacy media can't really compete.
Yep.
Like before the advent of the internet, it was like newspapers battling with each other for stories, and now it's like
think Mockingbird Media.
The what?
Mockingbird Media. Project Mockingbird.
Operation Mockingbird. Yep.
They for a time they took control of what the news and all that was saying. Well, then certain laws were passed where they couldn't do that, and so they did it to where they just made it voluntary. And so, you got clowns in America basically running all these news organizations, and they are willingly going along with it. And it's not a secret; it's an open thing. You can find all the information out there about it. Shit, Hollywood has there's a Clowns in America office, relations office in Hollywood. Yeah, they work with Hollywood for certain things, so that way Hollywood gets certain things right. But
I think you meant clowns in action is what you meant. I think.
Well, most people use the term Clowns in America because
Criminals in Action. I think that's another one. Yeah,
that was weird.
Yeah, it's getting to the point. At some point, YouTube is going to, I mean, they're already selling out a little bit and a little bit and a little bit, and censoring more and more and more. I'm grateful for the platform. Never would have met you guys and the awesome chat that we have, but it's just shadow banning and all that stuff. It's going to be good to have alternatives and. BitChute, God bless them, they're trying, but BitChute's got a way to go.
But it's good that there's places like BitChute out there. Plus, there's like one or two other ones. And believe it or not, man, people are going over to Pornhub. Yeah, really? I'm kidding you not. People are going over to Pornhub and making videos over there. And they're not making porn; they're just making videos. Because you can do pretty much anything, use anything, and do anything on Pornhub with your videos. Funny,
I know some people are live streaming on Twitch, and Twitch allows you to have a vlog function there. But
really,
yeah. Well, I mean, but the porn's invading Twitch too. The Twitch thought phenomenon that's going on there. Strange times we live in.
It's like, how do you control? It's like, well, guys, how do you control the people? Fear and lies keep us fighting against one another. But you see,
divide and conquer.
See, that veil has been lifted, and there's a lot of people that are waking up. Yeah, and I agree. I don't mean in a woke way, because woke is bad. But people are actually waking up, and they can actually see a rose for what a rose is and what a cup of coffee is. Mm-hmm. And they can see the difference.
I think that sort of thing's been a cycle throughout American history. Mm-hmm. Because it's like you think about the things that have happened throughout history, and then it's like a new generation comes, people start seeming to wise up a little bit, and like, wait a second.
Yeah, because basically, if people look at the things that unite them, the things that unite everyone are powerful, mm-hmm. And some powers that be that wear black hats, they don't like that. They don't like that at all.
They very much don't like it.
And you can see the influence they've had on the access media too, because they're all connected. They're all connected. They all get a narrative, and all this narrative stuff they put in movies with, basically destroying legacies, destroying icons, destroying Luke Skywalker. Changing historical comic book characters from male to female or female to male. Basically, they are disrespecting.
Picard.
Yeah, they're disrespecting those characters that were created and are loved by fans. And the people that want these change and go, yeah, we want this, we're, protesting this or that, blue check saying this, saying that. And do they buy special edition DVDs that they already have? No, we do. We buy those special editions. I may have something that I already have, but a special edition of something may come out, and I'll go buy that because it's special edition. There's something going to be a little different about it. And those people don't do that. They don't go buy those comic books that they fight for inclusivity. They don't buy that stuff.
No, because they have no interest in it.
Right.
But But the funny thing is, they have no interest in it because whatever inclusivity they want to have in there isn't there. That's why they're not into it.
Yep.
So they want to bring it into it, so they'll be into it. But by the time they bring in everything that they want, the franchise is all but dead because, well, it can't really continue with its old fan base if the locusts have eaten it all up.
That's a very good way to put it.
And it's one of those things. Well, it's one of those things. People say that these people move from one outlet to the other because they're trying to find a place to be, and there's most people will attribute that to a certain maliciousness. I'm leaning more towards attributing it to them just being blatantly idiotic. Like they don't know what they want, and they think they want one thing. They think it's going to make it work, and then when whatever they want to be invested in to change dies, they're like, well, what do I do now? It's like Lenny with the puppy.
They're chasing a fad, right? They're chasing this fashion that they think is in,
or something that they believe is important.
And to us, it's not a fashion. It's a comic book character that's loved. Doesn't matter whether it's DC, Marvel, or independent comics. They're loved characters.
Well, there's a reason these guys aren't creating
loved characters.
There's a reason these guys aren't creating their own original works, and it's because of that agenda over the storytelling.
Yeah. And it's also a mix of wanting to make things sort of mainstream, more accessible. And it's like, you're kicking out the core base that had it built, that allowed it to get noticed by the mainstream. And they're turning it into something else. And it's like, okay, you can't have this anymore. Go away. We don't want you here. We want this for ourselves. And then they get it for themselves. And it's like, okay, now what? I don't know. I'm rambling.
Hey, CJ. Right. Hey, man, you're doing good. You feel exactly the way we feel about our beloved characters. We don't want to mess with. What's up, CJ? How you doing, man?
How's it going, man?
So who? I want your opinion, guys. Who got it worse, Picard, Picard, or Jake Skywalker?
I don't know, man. That's really tough because that's a really good question. Basically, my analogy for what they did to Luke Skywalker was my metaphor for it is after the movie, KK came and smacked us with the right hand on the right cheek, smacked us with the left hand on the left cheek, and then did it again. And that was my metaphor for what they did to Luke Skywalker and what they did to us fans when they did that. And that was basically how it felt to me. Basically, they slapped the shit out of us. Now, what they did to John Luke, I'm beginning to think maybe what they did to him was a little bit worse.
Yeah,
we did. Is he went into it willingly. Knowingly.
That's true. He actually kind of demanded that they do some of that stuff. He had knowingly input. Yeah.
So I think the fact that basically they were so willing to ruin an iconic character like John Luke Picard, the captain of the Enterprise, a long line of heroic captains, and it was man bad. Females in power had to lord over him, and put him in his place in a very bad way that had never happened in basically Star Trek story.
They made him a stupid. They made him. Oh god.
They made him a simp. They turned him into a simp.
What is the definition of simp that y'all use?
They made him a cuck, I think is what.
It's sort of it's similar to cuck. Simp would be without sexual stuff going on.
Yeah. So basically, it was one big long. I'm sorry, I fucked up everybody's lives in the universe, and then he dies, and then he comes back as a robot that simulates a 96-year-old man's body. So even though he died and came back in a robot body, he still has to, drink Metamucil so he can stay regular, and the little blue pill anytime he wants to do anything else. What the fuck, At least give him superpowers. At least give him hair. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, they had an opportunity to change the actor.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't
if I died and became a robot, I would want some changes. I'm just saying. I'd probably request a few changes.
It's like, there needs to be fully functional stuff going on here. There's some ladies that I need to go meet.
Well, for Jean-Luc,
I think I'm going to be back in the dating scene now. I got this new body. Yeah, those are human thoughts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. A little adjustment here, a little adjustment there. Be good to go.
Yeah.
But nope. He's coming back, and in a 96-year-old body that's gonna die in a normal time span. And that's another thing. They cloned a brain that had a consciousness that had a brain abnormality. He was going into a fucking psychosis, and they downloaded that into the robot. So that didn't fix anything.
You see. Basically, the difference, I think, between William Shatner and Patrick Stewart, I think William Shatner probably doesn't like a narrative that's twisted. And he's not going to let himself be drawn into something like that. And he wouldn't approve of destroying a loved character. I know William Shatner probably wouldn't be approving of that.
I would have rather had 10 episodes of Picard and Kirk hanging out in the Nexus than what we got. Having him just cooking eggs and asking Picard for dillweed every morning.
That'd have been more entertaining than what we got. I mean, granted, they did give us the Eddie Van Halen guitar ship.
Oh, I call that the Optimus Primal ship because it looks like.
Well, if you look at the Chris Pratt.
No, Optimal. It looks like Optimal Optimus. That's what it looks like. Optimal Optimus in his machine mode.
You ever seen the Eddie Van Halen's guitar, red with crisscrossing white stripes? Well, that's what that ship looks. What is it? The La Sorrente?
Yeah, I don't know. The Rocinante. Yeah, that's what it is.
Was it?
It was the La Serena, I think.
La Serena, because the La Sorrente is the Expanse. Both. That's a beautiful ship, by the way.
The Rocinante?
Yes. Yeah, and I did a couple of videos comparing the ships on the inside to the La Serena. How, because there was rumors floating around that they had bought a set. The inside of a ship set. That was the rumor that I heard. I don't know if it was ever confirmed or anything like that, but it definitely didn't look like something that was in the Star Trek world, that ship. Looks very out of place to me.
Okay, so this is the Lost Arena. I'm going to share it because I can't be the only one that sees it. Optimal Optimus.
Oh yeah, my kids used to have that one.
Optimus Primal. That's what the Lost Arena is.
The shape is very similar.
Yep. Oh God. Why did I have to start talking about Picard? God damn it.
Oh, I have good news. I've never seen it, so.
Oh, look at you.
Well, I've never followed the old Star Trek either, so.
So yeah, those those glasses you're wearing would protect you in a blind out snow. You know that?
Probably.
Because they wear similar glasses. I don't know, not heart shaped, but yeah, you would not go blind if you were in a blizzard. Yeah. Cool glasses, by the way.
Thanks.
Yeah. Very cool.
They're too small. They're not adult size glasses. They're kid size. The ones get.
The episode with the green chicks is one of my favorite as well.
That's the one. That's the one where the other captain goes crazy and then they're in the insane asylum, right? For whom gods destroy, I think
I'd have to watch it again, but I remember the green chick.
Yeah, they blow her up halfway into the episode.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was a weird episode. I have to rewatch that one. That was only one. Season 3 was pretty uneven, but that was definitely one of the better ones.
All right, I gotta show this. I think that one's it. Looky that.
Yeah.
Cool expectations. Please come loose. I hope it comes loose. I wasn't asking. You should have listened. Can't be tight if it's a liquid.
The last one's my favorite. It's just like, yep.
Yes, thank you, Parrot Head, for sending that.
It's so appropriate, man. I've had some moments where I felt like that.
Yeah, usually if you tap on it with a hammer, you don't have to go that far.
Oh yeah.
But...
Usually,
I have another mechanical story. You know how they love to change how calipers are when they manufacture calipers, and they don't bother to take a look at the other caliper before they started manufacturing. Well, as you know, the caliper, the little brass fitting, connects up to your caliper and tightens on there. Well, it would have, had there not been this little piece of metal that was sticking out just a little bit. And if you turn the brass fitting, it won't fit at all. And going the other way, it won't fit because it's not meant to. So what I had to do is, I have that purple cleaner. I soaked everything down so nothing would catch on fire. I soaked the line down, and I had a portable grinder. I ground the brass fitting down, maybe about 1 millimeter, and then it fit perfect. Otherwise, I would not have been able to get that brake line onto that caliper. Talk about a pain. And it was dark. It was dark. I was getting done. I was putting the other one on, and it was different. Oh, man.
That's funny. You know, the last brake job I was doing, I had my nephew helping me, and my nephew, had it up on jack stands, and, I was doing it. I was watching him, and my sister-in-law's house. It's in this court, kind of up on this hill, and he was fiddling with the tires, and the tire started rolling down the driveway, and it caught some real speed, and man, that thing got up some real speed, went to the end of the court, and just like, bam, right into the side of somebody's car with him running after it. I was like, bring the tire back, don't touch the tires, and don't tell anyone that happened.
One of the worst things to ever watch happen.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way either of us are catching that thing.
Yeah, it's just the existential dread you feel. It's like, we're not gonna catch it. What is it gonna hit? How much damage is it gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's like when you have something big fall over in your house too, like a big shelf or something. It's like you try to catch. It's like, just like wait for it to fall.
Well, there's just like a narrow window for when you notice it starting to roll to when it just like zoom takes off, and you're like, whoa.
And you're like,
I thought for sure when it hit the curb that would have knocked it on its side and it would have fallen over, but nope, it just bounce right down the street.
Oh God.
Yeah, that was fun. He did end up ratting me out and telling his mom about it. But she got it. She thought it was funny. So
yeah, you remember when they first started the lockdown and they started throwing all these videos and all that everywhere, making them available? I could have sworn they were gonna release the Mandalorian early.
Season 2?
Yeah.
You think they have it finished already?
Yeah, I thought it was still in production. I was hoping for Cobra Kai, but Cobra Kai's moving to Hulu or Netflix now.
Oh, it's not staying on YouTube?
Nope.
Good.
Yeah, right?
No, I mean that sincerely. I enjoyed Cobra Kai. I didn't enjoy the fact that it was on YouTube.
I would love it to be on Netflix, man. I have Netflix.
You know, the YouTube video quality was very good. I'll say that for it. Netflix, my video quality, I feel like it's not as good. I feel like my Amazon video quality is much better.
I know why that is with Netflix. They have their own built-in buffering system.
I heard they're cutting down quality just to pretty much save on bandwidth usage because everybody's using it.
I've heard that too, actually.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they're doing because, bandwidth is expensive, especially for a streaming company like that.
Because I have a 4K TV and I use the Netflix app on my TV, and I'm getting, if I'm lucky, 420p sometimes. Because what they do is, on Netflix end, they're measuring your internet signal, and they adjust the movie's strength accordingly. And so I have a little trick for that. I'll pause it, then play it, pause it, and I'll have the info thing across the top, watching the strength increase. Then I'll pause it, and I'll keep doing that until it'll turn into 1080p. And you can pause it, play it, pause it, and after a little bit of doing that, sometimes you can manipulate it to give you 1020. Because technically, they're supposed to be giving me 4K for stuff 4K available.
I was on the 4K plan, and honestly, I didn't get the only thing that I watched in 4K that was really worth it was the first season of Altered Carbon. But that 4K with the HDR, man, it's hard to see. It's dark.
Yeah, I like the 4K aspect, but I really don't like the HDR. I like the 4K picture aspect, but I don't like the HDR because some HDR is better than others. And you're right, it's way too dark. They need to fix that. They
do, and they try and blame it on your TV, but I don't know, man. If it's designed for HDR, it's designed for HDR.
It's in their process because I got a 55-inch Samsung Smart TV.
That's what I got.
And the HDR and a lot of stuff should look good, but even on the 4K disc I got to mess with the settings, so that way it looks right, And there's a setting for when your TV's on the wall or on a stand on legs. Did you know that?
What?
No.
Yeah. For your screen setting, there's a setting for when your TV is on the wall, and there's a setting for when it's just on its pedestals on the entertainment center. And they make it complicated as hell to set, too. It really is.
Huh. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing about Samsung is that they take a special bolt that goes in the back if you do want to mount it on something, on a wall or, a stand that has a place, that mounts like you mount it on a wall. Dude, I had my TV sitting on the floor for like 2 or 3 weeks before I finally figured out the right bolts to get for that thing to work. Because it has that curve. So you have to get a long one, but it can't be too long. And then you have to use the spacer, but it can't be too short. Otherwise, it's not going to go far enough from the TV. It's such a pain in the ass.
So basically what you do is every time you buy something like that and they come with spacers, save it. Save all of it.
Oh, I see.
I got a box. I got all that stuff in because they'll come in handy. Because sometimes you'll get it. It's like for example, I've got legs on the middle of my TV because my TV's legs. They put the legs way far out, and it's like there's no way. And so I just got legs for the back that splay out in the middle. It works out. It's good. And then they got tabletop stands you can attach your TV to. And I got one of those for the downstairs table, and they work out great. If you got a glass entertainment center or stuff like that, it goes on top of it perfect.
Yeah, those are good. They're also universal, so you can use them for different TVs. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with my TV. I just have to have good internet, and I just upgraded, so I don't think I've noticed any problems. I think I'm on like the 200 megabyte per second plan right now. I think Culture Casino was saying he's on the terabyte plan. I was like, wow, man, that's blazingly fast internet.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's.
Yeah, mine's not that fast.
I'm pretty happy with this. I had to get a new router because when I upgraded my plan, my old router decided to die on me. Mr. Mooch says, what do y'all think about, or I'm sorry, Nancy says, what do y'all think of this 5G thing, these so-called towers? Just asking.
I think it's telling that there's some countries that are deciding that to wait. And there's a phone company that has created towers, and they're asking that those towers be looked into.
So I've
heard.
Hold on, I'm gonna paste a link in the chat here for Nancy. Just a moment.
Hey Nancy. I grew up with UHF, rabbit ears on TVs, and cable was a brand new thing in, let's say 78, maybe 77, when we lived in Hammond. And when they ran the cable line through the street, everybody had a chance to get cable. And they were having a special promotion back then. It was super cheap compared to what it was after they normalized everything. But yeah, we got cable, and that was the first time ever that cable was around. It was in 78. I believe they were called Cablevision in Hammond. Yeah.
When I was a kid, they just called it Sacramento Cable. That was the name of the cable company, because it was in Sacramento. Yeah, I remember my dad was growing a weed plant in the back, and he gave the guy some pot. Yeah, it was funny. That plant became a really big point of contention between he and my mom. They argued about it. She didn't want him to grow it. So my dad built this trellis, and he told me and my brother that he was building it so that we'd have perfectly round pumpkins for October, for Halloween. But the real reason he was doing it was so that the police officers and helicopters couldn't see that he was growing weed in the backyard.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember when I was a kid, most channels, when I was a kid, 3 a.m. was when the channels went off the air, because the late movie would show, and then after that, the channel would sign off.
You get the colored bars of death.
Yeah, pretty much. Or you'd get the circular round thing. They had different ones.
Oh, the Indian
one?
Yeah.
I remember some channels, at least in my area, would eventually sign off to the bars, and then others would just kind of switch to an all-night shopping thing for a few hours, for like a good portion of the night.
Oh yeah, that was I want to say the online shopping thing. That was the late '90s when that was the rage.
the home. Well, I was at home when I was a kid, because I was a kid in like the early '90s. It was like 3 or 4 of the really early '90s, and then like the only channel that would be on for any length of time after the other channels went off the air would be PBS. They would go to like insane hours of the night.
Yeah, see, back when MTV first came out, I believe that was the first year. It's either 82 or 83.
I thought it was 81 for some reason. I'll have to look it up. I do want to answer Nancy's question real quick while I still have it in my head about 5G. So 5G, Nancy, if you look at the link that I sent you, or that I posted in the chat. So here's the difference between 1G through 4G. 1G through 4G, you have a device, and you can have things off the cloud, and you can control to some degree the privacy that you have. You can opt in and opt out to specific app programs. The difference with 5G, at least the way it's being rolled out in China, well, number one, China has software to spy on 5G, so we're going to be using our legacy devices. But number two, the more insidious part of 5G is that you're no longer going to need one of these. What you're going to have, they're going to have cameras and microphones everywhere with facial recognition, and you're going to say, Uber, and it'll know who you are based on your biometrics, and an Uber will come. It'd be like Total Recall, where you got the Johnny Cab, and then they code redded Arnold Schwarzenegger. Basically, that's the fear. So we're gonna untether from devices, and it's all gonna be facial recognition and biometrics from the cameras everywhere, and it's all gonna be tied to. You're not gonna be able to opt out. That's the danger of 5G. That this device basically goes away unless you're reading on a Kindle or whatever, or doing work, and that it's all cameras and microphones that have voice recognition and facial recognition, keep track of you wherever you go.
Well, most new devices that are sold now are 5G ready.
Yes.
My phone's 5G ready.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my Galaxy S8 active. Yeah. But
yeah, they're supposed to be able to connect a lot of devices. Even to the point of, I think they were talking about brake pads, for example, that have disposable 5G interfaces that can tell you when your brake pads need to be replaced.
Oh, wow.
And so it'll automatically contact the mechanic to schedule that appointment for you. It really gets, it's all about massive devices.
You don't need none of that shit. I just need some regular brake pads, They throw that technology shit into auto manufacturers, and all they're doing is they're stacking the deck, making shit more fucking expensive to fix.
Mm-hmm. And adding on more regulations that the
That's
companies have to offer, or have to follow, I should say.
Yep. Or even when you buy something, everything now has a chip in it. So theoretically, they could be able to track exactly what the life of the product is that you're using. It gets Orwellian.
Those stickers sometimes that you see on items
with the little barcode.
The ones that set off the alarms.
Well, not that. They'll be like it'll be a price sticker. It'll be like an inch by an inch, and you'll see them every now and then. But if you get home, if you peel them off, it's got a little barcode behind it, a little electrical pattern, and those are trackable, like Wes was saying. Yep. That basically is wirelessly trackable within the store. So if they can track it within the store, they can track it without the store.
Yep, it's all about their inventory control, but then it's it's traceable afterwards. That's 5G is supposed to be connecting just like it's an exponential. The leap forward from 4G is huge, and you can connect tons and tons and tons of devices to it, and that's what they're all about. So that eventually this becomes, less relevant to your phone. Isn't that a happy thought?
Yeah, in addition to everything else going on, that's cheerful.
But the good news is we're resisting it because it's really the Chinese, and to go further into the 5G here, the Chinese, they want all that information. So they want to be the ones to curate it. And our government thought we were in bed with them. And so, hey, share this stuff with us, guys. And we're just now beginning to find out what kind of people they are. And, some of us knew what kind of people they are, but I mean, as far as our leadership, our
lovely media folks who've been turning a blind eye to everything.
Well, a lot of them are into payola because the 5 big telecommunications companies are indebted to them and want a part of their market.
I think it's about high time for certain implementations of the government to actually be used and take a big wrecking ball to all of these monopolies. I mean, that is part of the reason the government it exists, to prevent the very things that have been created.
Yep. Well, good news. Help's on the way.
Yeah. I mean, when you really think about it, Amazon, big monopolies, not big corporations like Walmart and everything. They don't really hold a monopoly on everything. People say, "Oh, the big evil corporations," and they're talking about like Walmart and everything. It's like they don't hold a monopoly on everything. There's Walmart, there's Target, there's technically BJ's, Sam's Club. I mean, Sam's Club's technically owned by Walmart, but different subsidiary.
You bring up a really good thing. Finish your thought. I'll pipe in after that.
Yeah, but it's like people talk about. I'm going to take these damn things off. They're hurting my eyes. When you're looking at a screen and you have a lamp behind your TV screen and a TV screen next to your TV screen, it hurts when your eyes are focused on those lights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But people, it's just one of the things. The thought just sort of popped in my head, but certain people, I'm not going to say people in general, but certain people who have a tendency to gripe and moan about the big billionaire companies and corporations and how they're all evil. They're talking about people like the Waltons and Walmart and Sam's Club and all of them. So when you really look at them, they don't have a monopoly on anything. They have other competition. You have the big ones, Target, Walmart, like I said, Sam's and everything. And you also have other department stores that aren't necessarily as big as them or as nationwide, but they're still pretty prevalent. Meanwhile, you have companies in Silicon Valley, Google, Amazon, hail the YouTube algorithm lest Google thinks we're turning on them. All hail is benevolent wisdom. And who else is it? There's Google, there's Amazon, Facebook, and I'm going to say Twitter, sort of. But the big 3, all from Silicon Valley. When you really think about, because most of the things that going on that happen online now, when you think about things that are going on online, those 3 companies pretty much have the internet in a monopoly. They control practically everything of the internet. And yet these people talking about monopolies, like, oh, they're talking about Walmart, they're talking about these companies, like, you idiots. These 3 companies have a monopoly on everything that controls your life. Yet you're angry at these small companies that you had the option to go to. I was going somewhere with this. I lost the plot in my rambling, but
corporate tyranny, I think, is where you were going.
That is what I was going for.
That the media companies are...
Well, I was more or less talking about the Silicon... I'm not going to touch the media companies. The media companies, you know what I mean. You're talking like CNN and everything, right?
Uh-huh.
The news companies. Yeah, I'm not going to touch them. They're going their own way anyway. They're going the way of the dinosaur already.
They're the squawking squawkers.
They're all bleeding out.
Yeah, when I mentioned squawking squawkers, that's who they are.
Oh yeah, I knew exactly who you were talking
MSNBC, about. And everyone connected to them, spreading out.
But I kind of lost the plot where I was going. But the monopolies, the government needs to sort of step in and do what it was meant to do in regards to monopolies like that.
Yeah, you got all these.
Like I said, especially with the internet stuff, and that's the funniest thing. The internet is the hardest thing to control, And yet Google, Amazon, Facebook, they've managed to figure it out.
I still remember when I used to search with Alta Vista.
Oh yeah, I remember Ask Jeeves.
Oh yeah, some of the Nancy says some of the smaller companies make more money. Exactly, idiots. Again, take the focus off what's really going on, and
well, I mean,
basically, you've got. Think about this. Think of it as like a pyramid. And you got the major corporations that own the news outlets. Top of the pyramid. Everything just filters down from there. And anything that they're saying, not believable. And nobody in most people that are fairly sane, enjoyable people and all that are awake, that like to have fun, do this and do that. They can see all this stuff for what it really is. Yeah, the news squawkers. What's up, Mikhail? How you doing, man? So yeah, they're in a lot of ways they are responsible for painting a narrative because they love to add gasoline to fires in their stories. And they like to inflate everything, and even lately, even Fox News, some of their daytime stuff is just a little kind of bizarre. And I kind of used to like Fox News, but gotta remember they're still one of those. They're still controlled by one of them 6 corporations, you know.
Yeah.
And when you have massive conglomerate corporations that control something, there's got to be some kind of abuse of power going on there somewhere. And obviously there is, because, you know, you can never really get any truth out of outlets like that. And that's why you see small local media. You see things like Golden State Times popping up and reporting press briefings at the White House and stuff like that, and they're reporting accurate news, and they're outpacing the mainstream.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I'll say a lot of them are also reporting their own local news as well.
Well, here's the thing about some of these local news stations, man. They're caught between a hammer and an anvil sometimes.
Yeah,
because these are local people that are being controlled by a mega corporation, and they're being sent orders, and it's either they basically compromise their integrity or they get fired, and that's a hard thing to deal with, you know. And so a lot of these media people on the local channels, they're dealing with a lot of stress because they're being basically forced to being made to.
Yeah, it's either their way or the highway at this point.
Yeah, basically being not reporting what's accurate.
And, yeah, they have an agenda. It's agenda over storytelling for them too.
Yeah. I mean, they're chasing ratings is what they're trying to do. Because anything that because if you look at the numbers, most of the media outlets, the big companies, they're bleeding ratings on an almost daily basis. Like
they're getting worse ratings than YouTubers are getting.
Right. And it's, it's like every day it's like, fewer and fewer people are watching. I mean, the generic places like airports and everything, that have CNN on just for white noise.
Right.
But they're trying to chase ratings to a certain extent.
They're ambulance chasers.
Yes. And so there's probably a whole lot of mixing it. They probably believe half the narrative that they want to push. They probably don't believe half of it, but they know they have to push it because they want the ratings. They want to stay afloat. But they don't realize that them chasing the narrative that they wanted to push is what's poisoning in the beginning. So they're chasing the poison to get the ratings, and it's going to kill them eventually.
Basically, what's the saying? Drinking from the poison well.
Drinking from the poison chalice or something.
Yeah, something like that. Well, basically, they drank from the poison well, and the poisoned well was propaganda and untruths.
Yeah, then the poisoned chalice is what it would be, and that's what they're one of the many things they're chasing. I try not to speculate on it anymore because it just leads me down a rabbit hole of random things to just try and reconcile, to try to make sense of it. And it's like, they're doing this, but you also got to take into consideration they're doing this and all that, and they probably know this, but they probably know that. It's just like, okay, stop it.
Yeah, so a lot of these smaller channels, some of those people, they're in a hard spot because they're a lot of these people in the local channels that are owned by the bigger, larger corporation channels, that they get their call sign from, like CBS, NBC, and all the other channels. They're in a hard spot because they basically have to do what they're told, otherwise they lose their career and they're just starting out.
Yeah,
it's Sunday afternoon in New Zealand, eh? Yeah.
God.
How's the weather there?
It's holy shit. It's almost 2:00.
Yeah, it's 10:44 p.m. here.
Oh, lucky you.
Yeah,
West Coast.
I'm kind of winding down a little bit myself. I think probably should be getting going here probably in the next 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, I say, because I'm on the East Coast. It's almost 2:00.
Wow, holy crap, man! Thanks for hanging with us.
Wow, I was up from my earlier stream and I was fiddling with some work. I saw that. I'm like, might as well. I'm up. I'm in front of the computer.
I've done that. Yep.
It's like I don't work tomorrow. I have tomorrow off. I work Monday, but I'll be fine come Monday.
Oh, that movie. That was with Dennis Quaid. Is that the movie they're talking about? Oh, wait a minute. Frozen state, and they come across people freezing in the bank because they didn't think about burning money. Hey, money burns.
Yeah.
Yeah, it burns. Why not burn the money? It's useless at that point. I'm still trying to think of the movie that. I think that was a Dennis Quaid movie. Remember the supercell started freezing everything and the weather patterns? It's Dennis Quaid. That was a halfway decent movie.
I'll have to watch it. The only one I really remember him from is Enemy Mine.
Clear and cold in New Zealand. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go watch one of those older movies. See, I watched Hooper, I watched White Lightning, I watched Gator, watch Stroker Ace. That's always a fun movie. Stroker Ace reminds me of Talladega Nights a little bit. Only Talladega Nights a little bit more slapstick, a little more silliness. But good stuff, man. Good stuff. I hope that the movie that you mentioned earlier with that was an homage to Burt Reynolds movies. What was the name of it, Wes? One you mentioned earlier.
Wait.
It's about the stuntman.
Oh, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really good movie, and it is a good homage to Burt Reynolds. And if you go watch Hooper, and then go watch that movie, and be like, wow, it's like a love story You know, I thought it was a love story. I hope they do. I hope they do some more like that. That would be cool. I want to see that kind of thing come back in movies. You know, that would be awesome.
Put Tarantino in charge of Star Trek, please.
Well, yeah.
That would be interesting.
Shit, put William Shatner in charge of Star Trek, and I guarantee you we're going to get some good Star Trek.
I think talking like him.
I think Tarantino, yeah, you know, let's have 3-headed cat ladies that you know jump into pool tables that have actual water, and you know what does God need with a starship?
Every time there's an earthquake, you have 4 people just doing the Shatner. Anyway, fucking hell.
Yep, exactly. Have Star Trek go to a planet with nothing but 3-titted cat ladies.
I don't know about that, man. They got claws, you know.
They could be house domesticated, have the claws taken off.
Yeah,
I don't think they'd like that.
So,
because just think what those claws can do in the heat of the moment. Wink, wink.
Probably leave you with an arm missing.
No, you have scrapes across your back.
Scrapes, putting it lightly.
Yeah. And painting a picture, passions in the moment. Yeah. 3-breasted cat lady. Yeah.
Very interesting imagination Mr. Shatner had there.
Yeah.
Yep, 3-titted cat ladies and 96-year-old Nichelle Nichols out there with fans doing the striptease.
So, being that we just talked about 3-titted cat ladies, I think that's a good place to end the night.
Yeah, right.
Leave some mental images out there for you.
Yeah. And end on a very strange note tonight. What the fuck are you talking about?
There was Nancy's asking about the 3-cat. There was an alien that had 3 breasts, and that was a cat person, and it first appeared in was it Star Trek 6?
No, it was Star Trek 5. It was in Paradise. Yeah, it was. She was in something. It's a weird movie.
And I believe there's been some. The characters appeared elsewhere. Was it in cartoon form or in comic form or book form?
I don't know.
But it's an alien basically, and very good fighter. Apparently, he did not want to fight that woman.
Not good enough to kick William Shatner's ass. She got thrown into an actual pool table that had water. That was a pool. That was supposed to be the gag. You had like 70-year-old William Shatner throwing her.
Yep. So thank you, chat. Thank you for coming out. Appreciate you. Guys, go ahead and plug your channel.
Oh, go ahead, Atlantean.
I'm not going to plug anything right now.
All right. I am Wes Moody of the Wes Moody Webcast. You can find me at youtube.com/Wes Moody Webcast, all one word. I talk about pop culture, current events, occasional conspiracy theories, occasional car talk, and I will vlog about whatever the heck I want to because it is my webcast. Hope to see you there, my friends.
Hail.
Yeah.
Hail to the chat. Thank you for coming out. And without you, you guys are half the fun. We really appreciate you. Like Wes says, the best chat on YouTube. Indeed.
Sure. So lucky.
And of course, we cross-pollinate. You'll find me on Wes's channel every now and then, on FinalDeathStar's channel. And you never know where I'm going to pop up because, spur of the moment things kind of happen because I like those spur of the moment things. That's where the most fun happens. So with that, I will say adieu and have a great night, great morning, wherever you're at. And hail to you, hail to the chat, hail to us.